Hey, I'm Johnny from Johnny's Vintage Motorcycle Company. And we just picked up this bike and we're going to name it Oil City Z1. We picked it up in Oil City, Pennsylvania. And we believe it's a 1975. It is a 1975. I don't know the motor number because it's so filthy, but we'll figure that out. So Kenny pulled the battery out of this. And what he had to do here was just to get it out of here. As you can see, it was swelled up right here. It's all cracked and busted. These are actually Z1 sprocket cover bolts. So we've kind of got that out of there now. Got a broken vent tube fitting. So now we're gonna have Caleb over here, and he's gonna grab the vacuum cleaner and stuff. You can see the nesting and everything. So fire that up and let's see where we're at here. So these are just some of the tools that you need. So some of the things we want to talk about on this motorcycle, and we're going to be selling these accessories off. We've got a set of Coney shocks, and these are kind of rare. Got a set of Lester mag wheels. Got a couple leaves here and stuff, and the tire's totally dry rotted. So we're going to take the Lesters off and we're going to check them and make sure that they're not bent or anything like that. Then we're going to discard this fender. This is just too far gone for us to use. And then we have this fancy bar right here. Now I'm not sure what that's for. It might be for like a Pennsylvania towing in the wintertime. Maybe someone gets on skis or something and puts the rope in there. I don't know for sure. We're missing the chain guard and stuff. It's got these little shock lowers on it. Those have to go. But all in all, this is pretty nice. We still have the lock here and everything. Before we wash it, we're going to take these velocity stacks off. We're going to tape up the air cleaners. It's got never mind. And so we got these real high handlebars, and I don't know why they moved these wires inside the bars, but they did. We're missing the speedo. I'm going to get the right key for it, and I'm going to come up the right gauge. And I don't know what this is all about totally. Some kind of I guess they call these lights. It's got a genuine, if you come over to this side of the motorcycle, you're going to see a genuine oil cooler from Kawasaki. So we're going to pull that off. I don't see any broken fins. The intake manifolds are all gooned. The throttle is locked up for sure, as well as the motor is locked up for sure. And as you can see, we've got some fancy extended fork tubes. These are going to have to go. We're going to convert it back to single disc brake, and obviously we're going to sell the mag wheels off of it. The frame looks good from what I can see. We got the pin right here, so that's a good sign, and it doesn't appear like the pin's busted out. We got the 6mm studs right here. So I see all the studs, so I imagine that's going to be okay. If it's a miracle, we can pull the spark plugs out and throw some oil inside, get it to move. But if anybody wants to gamble out there, I can gamble that that's not going to cure the problem for sure. So probably have to pull the motor apart and see exactly what's happening. And like I said, we don't know the mileage. It is a 74, 75 speedometer, though. It has a stop lamp in the lens here. So anyway, this is going to be our project, and we're going to show what we do to these bikes to get them to go. Now the biggest thing you need here is we use this S100 here, and what we do is we spray it all over. I don't want to spray it on here just yet because I don't want these guys getting dirty or anything with it, but we're going to spray it down with S100, and then anything that's chrome or aluminum, we take the SOS there and we scrub it on there. And then of course we get a bucket of warm water, and we work with that. So we'll proceed, and we'll be showing you pictures of everything we do and how we do everything, and kind of why we do everything. We're gonna try the S100 here and see what happens. We totally believe in this stuff. These guys are out of Connecticut. I believe the formula is from Germany. This stuff works, and we're gonna spray it on and see what it looks like. And in the meantime, we're gonna clean it up with SOS pads after I get it cleaned up here. Look at that. No motorcycle garage should be without this stuff. See how it kind of just totally brings life back to everything, and this kind of penetrates everything, and it's going to make life a lot easier. Now this is intended for nice motorcycles as well as motorcycles this condition. We've been using this stuff for years now, and it sure puts a nice added touch onto it. And everything these guys make is pretty good. Got these stickers. The Max sticker, we can lose that. That's not a big deal. But when we put the pressure on them, we don't put the pressure on the decals, no matter what, because they're going to fly off. So definitely we're going to keep the pressure washer away from that, or we can put some paper or something over that. That's definitely a no-no to do that. Now this, we want to clean this rat's nest out of here, of course. But anyway, we're going to continue to spray it, everything down, and then we'll go from there. Okay, as everybody's kind of cleaning up here a little bit, Johnny just put a bag over the gauge. Once you start spraying that high pressure on here, that water will find a home inside the gauge, and then the lens gets all fogged and everything else, and usually doesn't come out. So we learned that the hard way. So this is what we do here. So as we look at it a little bit more, we're getting most of the stuff out. We're going to get up on the bench. We're going to let this thing, we're going to blow dry it off with the compressor. So what we're going to do, we're going to take off this oil cooler. Some of the stuff is salvageable. We'll probably try to come up with a little better ring. We're missing some things out of here. And what happened was, to the best of my knowledge, this bike was left behind and never touched because something happened to it, but we don't know what was wrong with it for sure. But we're going to find out. So we're going to blow all this off. I'm starting to notice a few things. It has chrome chain adjusters on it. Some of the earlier Z1s had chrome chain adjusters on them, but they had the small bolt. They had 8mm instead of 10mm bolt. So we're going to, obviously we're going to throw these out. And we're going to get some new stuff on here. And we have a lot of used stuff laying around. So we're going to try to put as much used stuff on here as we can that's functional. We're going to start out with the bars and everything. So we're going to blow her off here with the air hose, and then we're going to go from there. All right, we're getting ready to take this bar off, and we just noticed, I got to share these things with you guys. This is probably off of like a rigid frame chopper sissy bar. I'm almost 100% positive that's what it is. But in the meantime, look what they use for spacers. See right there, you got that lip, and you got this right here. These are the exhaust bracket rubbers that go on the frame down here. Takes one on each side. So we have 4 of them total here. Different, very different. I just had to show you. And in the meantime, one of the products that we sell here, this was all gooned. The wiring harness and stuff was all gooned. So what we have is we sell this part number here at our shop, and this is the rear tail lamp harness. They're very reasonably priced, and rather than fooling around making stuff, this here square plugs right into here, and then the wires go to the tail light. So that's pretty cool. But I just had to show this. This is, I find something great every day when we do these customized bikes. Also, on a little bit further inspections, we're pounding the stuff out of here. It was all covered up, and this was beat to crap against the frame. We were trying to figure out how to get this bolt out. Well, there's a reason. It's a U-bolt off of someone's muffler or something. It's amazing how we can blend Harley and car parts together to fix chopper Kawasaki's. I love every minute of it, I really do. And as always, another added feature, they have a bungee cord extension bolt here on the rear motor mount. That's always pretty classy. I like that. Just when we've all seen it all, here's an accessory I've never seen. This is a chrome cover for the chain adjuster. See how it's cut like that? Comes around like that. Got a set of them. I'd never seen it. We took these Coney shocks off it, which we're going to clean up and market on the internet. eBay would be selling these. We went to see what was happening here, and it's missing the ignition. So that's kind of bad news, but not really. We have ignitions. But all the spark plug came out. Usually spark plugs coming out of these old bikes is a problem. So what we're getting ready to do here is we're going to take the dyno cover off on the left side and see if this motor turns over. As of right now, it doesn't. So we're kind of multitasking. We're going to try to get this done in a hurry, but we want to hear it run. So anyway, that's just the update. So Kenny's pulling off the intake manifolds right now, and then we're going to see if and how we can get the motor to turn over without pulling it apart. I got a funny feeling this one's coming down. Okay, got a little tiny setback here. We didn't really think much about this. We didn't have this bar, and when I picked the bike up, and had a few things because the wheel was off, or it wasn't really off, but it was cocked, and the chain adjusters were pointed downward. So we come to think about it, and we're starting to bolt stuff up a little bit just to get it set up. Well, you have this bar right here that goes into here for the drum brake. So this particular one here has the bar that would have been on the top for the caliper. See where they ground it down right here? This has been ground on. So that would have taken the bar that would go across for the caliper. So we determined that this is, I'm not sure, it's either 77 or 78 KZ1000A swing arm. And if you come over to this side, you'll notice right here that this is all basically the same, because they take the chain guard that goes in through here, and then we have the bolt kit and stuff we make for this right here. So where we're at is to make this work. We have this chain guard, and this goes in right here. This little slot, the plastic goes in there to hold it, and then you have the two bolts right here. So because we have a lot of inventory, we are putting this together with a lot of good used parts. However, we always stock these swing arms. So this is I believe this is a 75 or 76 swing arm. I have to look at the code. But anyway, that was, it's easier for us to put the stuff together because we have a lot of stuff. So it's looking pretty good. Kenny's putting this all together right here. These are our shock bolts, and this is all replated stuff. This is replated here, and this is all replated there. And we all offer all this for sale, by the way, at our shop. And I came up with a nice used grab bar. It's got a little pitting and stuff, but it's all going to play the part well. This is going to be a nice unrestored bike. And then we pieced together a few turn signals for it and stuff. So we're looking pretty good here, and we'll continue on. And also, this is the installation of our taillight wiring harness right here. It goes underneath the cowl. So we wanted to kind of show you that too. But all in all, basically this is a really nice piece to start with. Another small snag we had over here. I mean, you can always expect this kind of stuff when you buy these bikes. Someone has welded the cam cover. So we're going to replace that. But we still have a locked up engine. So we're probably going to take it off anyway. So next thing is we're going to come up with a different set of fork tubes. And we have a wheel that we're putting together right now as we speak. We're probably going to put aftermarket switches on because these are gooned. I mean, it'd be more work to get these rolling, and it's not something we're going to put together to restore totally. So this one moves, but it's kind of gooned, and we got to replace this piece here and the other piece. Then we have this switch here that's totally locked up everywhere. Total locked up. So by the time we put a bunch of time in these, they've been worth our time to just throw some new ones on there. So starting to come together now. The chain guard's nice. Everything here is getting pretty nice. The chrome was not perfect on anything, but what a nice period bike. But the big trouble we're having right now, is we can't do anything with the cylinder. So we're going to, I mean, this is the worst one we've ever had. So what we're probably going to do is Kenny went home for lunch, and he's going to bring back a big saw. So we're going to try to saw the pistons out of here and see what happens. Now, I've not seen it done before, but I'm not saying it can't be done. So at this point, we're really desperate. Then on the bright side, starting to get all this together. This is our line. We saw this line. These are our bolts. Our little decal we saw here. A couple small holes in the fender here, but we can live with that. Got another meter on it. The bars are a little bit, they are original, but they are not perfect. But it's much better than it was. So we're moving along as best we can. So hopefully we'll have this going next week. Now, these are the carburetors that are going to go back on it. We're in the middle of working on these, but this looks good. I'm going to put these vintage grips on. I always liked these. My dad had a set of these on a BSA a long time ago, and I always liked them. So we're going to put those grips on. Here's the cams. These are the cams that came out of it. So this is what puzzles me. The cams are nice. If you hear that noise in the background, we're blasting the cylinder right now on it, or blasting the head out on it. Here's some of the valves that came out of it. I mean, some of the valves were grody. We're going to clean these up and see if we got a margin on them or not. If not, we're going to replace a few of them, I can tell you that. Along with the valve seals. All the gaskets are obviously going to get replaced. We've got all the cam stuff, head bolts. So this is all going to be pretty cool. And we're getting ready to burn that cylinder off. We're going to get that cylinder off somehow, some way. We're probably going to ruin the cylinder, or we may screw up the bore here. But this is really bad. But this might be a nice candidate for a 1015 kit. See how rough and rusty and everything else is going on here. It's junk, but it is what it is. And when you buy these things, if you don't hear them run, you can assume all this. It's not a nightmare, but it is what it is. And here's another good used signal we're going to put on it. Nice genuine signal. However, this is either from a Vetter fairing or H2 or KZ400. I really don't know what the stem is for sure. I really don't know much about the rest of these bikes except for the Z1s and stuff. But it has to have this taper here. So you got the taper going into that, where this has got this hex here is part of that. And we can't be having that. All right. It looks pretty good. Probably have it running after the first of the year. As you saw before, the pistons were just stuck. And we've run into this a lot lately because we take on some projects that probably shouldn't be taken on. So anyway, the cylinder was stuck. So Kenny took a hole saw, drilled it around here, and relieved the piston from the crankshaft.
So to further explain what's going on with getting the cylinders off this Z1, this one was stuck the hardest we've ever encountered. So what we decided to do is get a hole saw to relieve the piston and cylinder wall area. So what we did, we drilled down into it. I got a screwdriver, sharpened the edge of it, and kind of drove between the liner, which is down here, and the piston. So it relieved it a little bit of room, and we could get the cylinder off then. The piston was stuck in the liner. The cylinder was stuck on the studs. It was quite a mess, but we got it off. Didn't break anything on the cylinder. Obviously the liners popped out, but that's no big deal. You can put that in the oven at like 150 degrees and it'll drop right in. So anyway, that's what we did after we got the cylinder up and off. Then we just tapped the pins out and we're ready to go back to cleaning that up and getting it back together.
It just so happened I have a nice cylinder that's been vapor blasted that we stashed in the back. No broken fins. It's stock bore. The liner looks really good. So we are going, and of course when we take them apart, we always mark them where they're going to go. They're obviously marked on the top, but we take and put just like one dot on the inside. So this is like 4, we have 4 dots on the bottom and on and on. So anyway, now we're going to put the new rings in it. These are made in Japan. It's pretty good stuff. So it's coming together. And also we now have the cylinder head. This is not going to be an expensive bike, so we just bead blasted this just because we wanted to move this project along. We're actually trying to clear out one of our warehouses full of stuff. So anyway, this is looking pretty good. It's never been flowed. There's still rough casting inside here. There's no broken fins. Now that's one of the reasons why I don't like to bead blast them, because now all my fingerprints that have oil are all over this. If you vapor blast it, you don't have this problem. But this is just a cheap bike we're putting together, and it had the mud daubers all over it and everything. But as I say, normally we do not like to bead blast. But all the studs look pretty good. We don't see any broken valve guides. We're going to put new valve guide seals in it and everything. And we're going to do a little valve job on it. We got the pan off, or the clutch cover off. Looks like the clutch doesn't look like there's any clutch damage to speak of. The oil is dirty, but you can still see through it a little bit, so it's not the end of the world. Then we have the oil pan here. A lot of this metal here is from the drilling of the pistons. So we're going to very nicely flush all this out. Of course, change the gasket and everything, and put another O-ring in here where it goes and everything. But no parts really in here that you never saw before in your life. Got some crud, but no metal parts. So I think this is going to be okay. So we're going to do the bottom in here, get this all together, and then we will continue on, and I'll put top end together. And in the meantime, while we're already here, now's the time to change these bolts out because it's got that flat bolt that goes between the case and the frame. So now it's going to be a good time to change that out. So we're going to change a couple bolts out and adjust it up a little bit, and then we'll roll it on from there. So get the piston kit in it, new cylinder head valve job, everything, nothing busted, been blasted, so it looks pretty cool. So maybe tomorrow we'll get her going. Takes a long time to do these, but it's all coming together, and this ought to be a good running bike. Nice fun thing for somebody. And also over here, we're looking in the back of the shop, and I found a set of Z1 pipes. One of them's got a hole in it. We are going to try to find a better one than that, but just kind of want to show what we had, and we're going to go from there. So I think we're definitely going to put the original pipes on this bike. Hey, how's Oil City looking? Okay, we got the points in it. Spark Advance was missing all this stuff when we got it. So of course we put the new screws in there. The clutch is cool. Actually, all the plates were good. Just had to blast the steels. I obviously we had to swing arm off and on, so the grease and stuff. So anyway, we're going into the motor. Has a stock 900 pistons, and it's got new rings, new valve seals. The valves and stuff, everything was cool on this bike. I was surprised. So anyway, we got the heads done. This is all done. We put a different cam cover on because the one cam cover we had on it was welded for some reason. And so we got some nice bolts here. And got the new spark plug caps and got a set of coils on it because that was all missing when we got it. So we did come up with some pipes. We're going to change some more bolts and stuff around. The pipes are not genuine. They're to this bike. It says Kawasaki Heavy Industries, but also says 76 on them. So these are KZ 900 pipes, but they look pretty good. I've just had stuff laying around on and on, and I bought a couple of these pipes off one of my customers. So what's happening here is we're going to take this decal off. It's kind of gooned here a little bit. Got a hole right here. This is going to be okay until we find a nicer pipe for it or something. And plus the baffle's kind of drilled out. Now we are getting baffles for this. So we're going to put some baffles in these pipes. This one has a baffle in it. This one's got a little booger mark on it right here in the end. And also, this is a 76 pipe because they say 76 up here. A little bit of battery acid damage. You know, these batteries, you must got to run that sealed battery in there, or you're gonna have a mess like this eventually. So anyway, the motor is done. We're getting ready to get her fired up. And actually the wiring's not bad. We sell these switches here for the handlebar. This is a genuine clutch lever assembly. And I actually took this off of a KH400 or S3 or something. Got these grips. I always like these grips. These are pretty cool. Then we have, over here, we have the starter switch for the left-hand side of the handlebar. I'm sorry, the right-hand side of the handlebar. So I got to come up with some stuff. We're never done. And we sell these here also. And here's the carbs. I mean, they've been sitting around, but they're not bad. I mean, they're workable. We're going to go through all these and make sure that they don't leak and all that. And then here's the cylinder that originally came off it. This is that one we had to take off. Now, some of the liners had come loose on it. So we're going to go and we got a machinist that's going to make sure everything is cool. This is flush. This is out a little bit. This is out a little bit. So anyway, this is no broken fins. So we're going to get this all, see the mud daubers and stuff in there. So we're going to get, this is pretty clean. We'll clean this up a little bit more maybe. And then we'll just get this all vapor blasted since it is a 903 cylinder. So anyway, to be continued. But this is pretty cool stuff, and we'll do whatever we have to do to fit pistons in there. Got a few good bolts and stuff put on it. This is all replated stuff right here. Got to do a little bit of work to the brake switch and stuff, but we got the stock air box on it. And we're filling up a new battery for it. We always run these sealed batteries. I just don't like battery acid getting all over the bike, so we are doing. So we got all the side cover grommets on it new, and everything you see on here we sell here at the shop. So we're getting ready to start the motor. However, we had to put new fuel tees and stuff in the carburetors. So we always like to test them with a test tank right there. So just in case they leak, we don't have to pull them off because we're running a stock air box and it's an older one, and they're not as good as they used to, or not as soft as it used to be at one time, but still pretty cool. Then we got some intake manifolds for it. So I'm probably going to get new gas tank rubber for it because this is kind of Honda-ish. But anyway, we got our switches on it. So it's almost ready to go here. We're going to test drive it today. So I just thought we'd show you some updates and where we're going here in a little bit. We needed these baffles. So what happened was we have a friend around the corner that is doing some welding for us and stuff. So we had these baffles that are kind of rotten. We took a set of pipes apart that were totally shot, and he wound up welding them together. So these can be rewrapped. Still got to take a bolt out of this one, but we took them out because these are in pieces, and we took them out, so they're not quite even. But anyway, we'll probably just run them as is. It's not perfect, but it plays the part, and just kind of wanted to show you the things that we do when we run out of stuff. So these are going to be the baffles for this bike right here because two of the pipes are missing it. Oil City. All right, thanks. All right, the moment of truth is finally here. We're going to start the Cow 900 up. Anything really electrical or anything just yet. We just kind of wanted to make sure it runs before we go home for the weekend. We gotta adjust the carburetor stuff, but not bad. So we'll take it for a little test run. Still have to do some work to the front brake. I'll just put a few rubbers on the pipe and stuff. We're going to loose ends to tighten up on it, but all the gears are there, so we're gonna put a little more time on it and do a few more things to it. But we just want to take the initial run on it and make sure everything's good. Oil City is about done. We've got, if you remember, we had the big long forks on it. We put a different front wheel on it. Everything is pretty nice on it, actually. It came out to be a nice everyday rider. We still have a couple hours worth of work to do to it. We still have to put the bands on the handlebars and I'm going to put a new fuel valve on it. But we're going to leave it like this. This is a reproduction seat that we sell here. So we just put one of these on it. Got the side covers on it. Got the side cover emblems on it. Got all the signals on it. Stock chain guard. And I still have to put these baffles in. I'm waiting for the paint to dry on them. So we're going to put the baffles in it. But outside of that, this bike turned out actually pretty nice. It seems to run good. I want to put more time on it. And just want to just show what the before and after parts on it. Like the switches that came with it we couldn't use because they're just rotten on the inside. The cables we could not use those. We changed out a lot of bolts. Put a meter on it that we had laying around. But it's gonna need a paint job eventually, depending on who's getting it and who's not. But all in all, this bike could be easily restored. We have to finish up with the brakes and stuff on it. I got a busted bolt here. We got to still take out and everything and put the junction box on it. But we used up a lot of parts that were kind of marginal. A lot of used parts on this motorcycle. Nice footrest and a lot of replated stuff like the footrest and the footrest pins, the washers. All that stuff makes a big difference. I don't know how far we're going to go. I still got to put a rubber right here on the pipe. Just haven't got around to it yet. But all in all, we just kind of wanted to show you what you can do with a bike like this. Now, as of today, since you first saw the video, we have 49 man hours in this motorcycle. I mean, that's gone through the front end bearings to the changing the swing arm out because it had the wrong swing arm on it, and the putting the cylinder on it was a major. Then we did a valve job and got all the mud daubers out of there, and we put a different cam cover on because the cam cover was welded, and went through the carburetors and the carburetor tees and the intake manifolds, and it just never stopped. And now that we have it where it's running now, you're probably still, by the time you ride it and get all the bugs out and everything, you're probably still gonna have another 3-4 hours in it before it's really done. And I'm sure the more I ride it, the more we're gonna want to do to it. Anyway, we just want to show what you can do with a nice numbers matching bike, with nice frame, nice motor. And thanks for looking at our videos, and if this gives you any ideas, let us know. So I want to wish all of our followers and customers and viewers and everything a Happy New Year, and we kind of wanted to rush this along so you'd have something to look at New Year's Day when you had nothing else going on and it's freezing outside. Okay, stay safe. No COVID. Stay away from it. Bye. Gross is a bad word.
Ho, ho, ho.
Purple goon. A purple goon. It's gooned. Gooned. We kind of gooned, and we got a kind of gooned. Kind of gooned. The intake manifolds are all gooned. Parts, and more parts. These are gooned. So there's where we're at. So anyway, moving forward,